Jerry, as far as I know from my experience in watching polygraphs and being involved in them, this guy did this polygraph perfectly well.
Yep, I agree with you. We were misinformed. We were told it was confrontational. It was confrontational after he failed the test.
After he failed.
After he failed, the guy told him that.
Truth is, you wanted your wife dead. The truth is, you helped arrange for the attempted homicide. The truth is, it was all about money. That's what it's always been all about.
He failed it miserably.
Prior to that, the guy did it 1,000% right as far as I'm concerned.
This guy he mimics me. That's how I would have talked to this guy.
I mean, look at this lie detector test. It appears he failed it. And as a result, he knows who the killer is.
What did this all mean? Was Darren responsible for killing his own children? Was he covering up for Darlie? Or was he purely a victim himself, being wrongfully accused?
There's some juggle things there that weren't explored.
Right. Supposedly the intruders could have been a setup for a burglary that went real bad because Darren was out there. You know, he had done an insurance scam before, or at least contemplated one. This could have been another one, and it just went ugly. It went real ugly, you know? So there's a few things here.
As two former NYPD detectives, we had done this sort of thing hundreds of times before. But with this investigation, nothing was what it seemed. Around each corner, instead of answers, we only found more questions. Questions that can only be answered by Darlie herself.
Maybe 70 years of experience. Listen to every kind of crackpot, dirtbag, scumbag in the world, and you sit there and you're telling us that.
Evidence that Darren may have been involved in a crime, it was time to go face to face with Darlie. Several people who had previously spoken to her warned us that she was a pro at telling her story over and over again. After all, she's been doing it for over 10 years.
They're sure waiting to fry this young lady because it's been since 1996.
Yeah.
It's 10 years already.
She's almost at the end of her appeals at this point. You know, I would think this death sentence is going to be carried out probably the next few years. That's saying a few more years, and that's about it.
Yeah.
The prison had strict rules about interviews. We'd only have 40 minutes and would have to talk to her through bulletproof glass. Darlie knew this was one of her last chances to convince people of her innocence. If her final appeal is denied, she'll likely be executed by lethal injection.
Let me ask you something. Did you ever take a lie detector test?
Yes, I did.
What was the outcome of that?
Inconclusive, I think is the word that they use.
Inconclusive?
Right.
You know, your husband, Darren, took a lie detector test.
Yes.
And he was asked questions
Yes, I heard about that later, yes.
Actually, we saw the lie detector test, and he failed on a number of questions.
He said that the people that were involved in doing the lie detector test, he just said that they set him up.
Can I ask you one question?
Yes.
Do you still love your husband?
I still have love for my husband.
If you were to leave here today, would you be with your husband?
No, I would not.
Why?
Because I found out things that I didn't know about back then.
Like what?
Well, I found out that Darren was talking to somebody about having the house set up for an insurance scam, an insurance hit, whatever it's called.
Verify?
Yes, Verify.
And
they had talked about having his car stolen. And Barry took the car. And I was mad.
So if we're to believe that somebody broke in to burglarize your home that night, and I worked on a lot of cases. I was in the police department 20 years. I saw a lot of burglaries. This is a night burglar. This is a cat burglar. They rarely come in looking for weapons. They have their own weapons, and they take care of business. They just come in and they kill two little innocent children, kill them, and almost leave you for dead. We have to believe that.
Right.
If you didn't do it, then who did? You're trying to implicate your husband in this.
Well, I'm not trying to implicate my husband at all. I'm trying to tell the facts. And
I hear the facts, but it sounds like you're trying to implicate your husband. Doesn't it sound like that to you?
For answers.
Maybe you had some financial problems. Is that enough to kill someone?
I know I did not kill my children. And if you will talk to other doctors and psychiatrists, people that have been attacked, people that have been in severe trauma.
the evidence points to nobody being in that house but you, Darren, and your children.
Somebody came into my home and murdered my children and me. That is actual
They didn't murder
proof.
you, Darlie. They didn't
left
murder you.
me for dead.
No,
Somebody
you left
does
your
not-
children for dead.
No, I did
you
not
left your children
murder
for
my
dead. You're sitting there
children.
and you're lying to us.
No, I'm not.
You're lying to us,
No,
lady.
I'm not.
We're looking at the killer right now.
Darlie Lynn Routier, you haven't shed one tear
That isn't the
since
killer.
we're sitting here.
So that makes me a
Not
murderer.
one, not a tear. You can well up them eyes, but you can't make a tear come down.
You don't know what I do and the tears I've cried when I am by myself.
If you didn't kill your children, who killed them?
I don't know.
Reggie and I purposely put Darlie through the ringer, and she held up well, but we still weren't sure.
You're lying to us, lady.
Later that evening, we popped in the tape of the interview and watched it to see if there's something we missed.
You know, this scenario is possible. The burglary went real bad.
Look at the emotion she's showing.
I know. Maybe there's some truth to this thing. This thing that gets me about death penalty cases, you have to review these things before you put someone to death. You make sure, the bloody fingerprint that we know about. There's no taking it back. Once you execute her, it's over.
Whether it was Darlie herself, a complete stranger, or if the murders somehow involved Darren, both Reggie and I had a hunch that killing the two young Routier boys wasn't supposed to happen. But it did, and both Darlie and Darren have paid a high price, as a shadow will hang over each of them for the rest of their lives. In the end, despite Darlie's conviction, Reggie and I weren't convinced. She was put away largely on circumstantial evidence, too thin and flimsy to put someone to death.